Coming up on Double Take Sports Talk, we will update you with headlines and news, matchups to start off the week in the NBA. That is next. All right, this is it. Double Take Sports Talk with the Watch Brothers. Thank you for tuning in. Daryl, on the opposite side, say hello to Darren Watch, everybody.
Hello, welcome to the show. All right, we're here.
We're here. All right, man. You doing good, man? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man.
Okay, man. We got some things that we need to cover here this week in the NBA. Man, you ready to rock this one?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. NBA Finals has officially been set for tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors has punched their ticket to the NBA Finals. And these are the two teams that are playing tonight. There will be a 9 o'clock tip-off of Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the previews of this, and then we'll get to the stats of this, and then we'll get our opinions, me and Darren's opinions of this, and we'll get our predictions also based on that NBA Finals of Game 1. So, with that being said, Cavs and Warriors, tip-off is 9 o'clock tonight, as once mentioned. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they're 11-1, in the playoffs, and Golden State is undefeated at 12-0. LeBron James is averaging 32.5 points per game, shooting 57% from the court in the playoffs. Steph Curry is averaging 28.6 points per game and shooting 50% from the court. And with that being said, the matchup of these two teams, the Cavaliers has averaged 116.8 points per game. That's first in the playoffs. And the Warriors are averaging 118.3, which is second. Cavs are averaging 41.6 rebounds, which is 10th in the playoffs. And the Warriors are averaging 45.8, and that is ranked number 2 in the playoffs. The Cavaliers are averaging 22.2 assists per game, which is ranked 6th in the playoffs, and the Warriors are averaging 27.8, which is ranked number 1. Cavs are shooting an average of 50.7%, which is ranked number 1, and the Warriors are not too far behind, 50.2%, which is ranked number 2. 3-point percentage, the Cavaliers are shooting 43.5%, which is ranked number 1, and the Warriors are 38.9%, which is ranked number 4 in the playoffs. So this is a pretty evenly matched up between these two teams. And also, not to mentioning that also my key to the feed for this is also Tristan Thompson. He has a rebounding percentage of, I believe it was 16.8%, if I'm right. Sorry, 16.6. It was 16.6% of offensive rebounding. So that could play a big role if the Cavs want to win this game. And, of course, the Warriors have not played basketball in almost a week, maybe over a week. And this is going to play a big role for them. They're going to have rustiness and try to kick out the kinks for Game 1 tonight. So we want to keep that in mind as we go forth with tonight's game. All right. My prediction for Game 1 tonight, I am going with the Golden State Warriors. Now, just because the Warriors has not played, in basketball in about a week, it kind of gets antsy and, stuff like that. But I feel that they're ready. Steve Kerr may not be 100% ready, but they don't need him. And I believe that Golden State has the tools to get game one. And Darren could have mentioned it. They won the past 2 game ones in this part 3 battle of these 2 teams. So the Cavaliers are going to have to do a lot more. It's an easy way going for the Cavaliers and the Warriors when they've reached up to this point with Cavaliers only losing 1 game, and Golden State, they haven't lost none yet. But in this point, somebody's probably going to have to lose because this may be a 7-game battle. And I have a feeling it's going to be a 7-game battle. As I mentioned once before, that, LeBron James, they're going to get him to the NBA Finals. They're going to do that, in the business aspect of this. But I do believe that this will be a 7-game series. But Golden State, tonight, game 1, this belongs to them. That's what I believe. That is my predictions for game 1.
All right. So here we have it. The Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers, game 1 in California. My prediction for this game is going to be Golden State. Here's why I say that. In the last 2 NBA Finals games between the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers, whoever reached the 100 points first usually wins the game. In the last 2 NBA Finals games, Golden State in game 1 specifically, in just game 1 specifically, Golden State reached 100 points in both game 1s in 2016 and 2015. They won both game 1s. I have a feeling that this is going to continue for Golden State. They are at home, just like how they were the last 2 seasons. Yeah, they was at home the last 2 season games. I'm sorry, the last 2 season games. The last 2 NBA Finals appearances, they had home court advantage, game 1s, and Golden State won. I see this no differently from the last 2 years to this year. Yeah, of course, they made some roster adjustments with adding Kevin Durant and Harrison Barnes now being gone. I still believe Golden State got it in them to win game 1, and I believe that's who's going to win game 1. Golden State won game 1 of the 2015 NBA Finals 108-100. In 2016, game 1 started June 2nd, 2016, with a 104-87 win over Cleveland. So, in looking at the pattern, I could see Golden State winning game 1 in California at Oracle Arena. I got them in this game. LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love combined for 67 out of the team's 87 points in 2016 when Cleveland lost 104-87 last year. That was not enough to beat Golden State. It was not enough at all. Nobody from the bench scored more than 5 points. That's not enough production from not only from the starting lineup, but also going to the bench. They need that bench production like they've had this season alone. And looking at that, Cleveland's going to have to step their game up. It's a wide open game. So whoever has 100 points first wins the game. I don't see Cleveland doing it, getting there first anyway. They're going to probably get 100 points, but they're not going to get there first. I believe Golden State's going to beat them there. It's all about the race. I got Golden State game 1. No final thoughts. Just got Golden State game 1, but I have no final thoughts. None whatsoever.
All right. Final thoughts. Now, I know that we haven't had to put a podcast out there in a while. And I know that we've been a little distant with this, but I just want to take this moment and say I sincerely apologize about that. I know me and Darren has been going through some rough times right now, and at this point, I have you my guarantee that we will do everything possible to keep this at a consistent rate. I promise you that. Regardless to what we have been through, we will do everything in our willpower to keep us a consistent podcast. This is something that we enjoy. This is something that, our opinions on sports are very important to us, and our audience are very important to us. We would love to hear from our audiences, and we just believe that being consistent with this podcast is the number one important thing for us, and that is exactly what we're going to do from this point on out. Those are my final thoughts. But until then, thank you for tuning in to Double Take Sports Talk. If you like what you see, you can, well, not really. But you can still give the video a thumbs up anyway. Just throw it out there. Of course, how you feel about today's show, you can just comment on the comment section below as usual. We're here as usual. But until then, I'm Daryl. And of course, Darren was hosting on the other side. Catch up with us on another episode of Double Take Sports Talk. Until then, ciao. Double Take Sports Talk here with me, Daryl Watts. As many of you know, me and Darren enjoy talking sports and giving out stats, but we also enjoy entertaining while doing it. So with that being said, you can check us out on the social media side and get more involved in our podcast. We're on Twitter at DTST2414, or you like us on Facebook, Double Take Sports Talk page at The Watch Brothers. We're also on YouTube. Like, share, do what you got to do with that. Once again, we don't mind. Also, we are finally back on the podcast app for audio-only purposes for those who enjoy audio-only of our podcast. We're also on the blog, feature critical thinking and analysis, and you can check that out at doubletakesportstalk.blogspot.com. Thanks again.